There is a big expectation, but even if Harvey Weinstein is not convicted, the rest of the story is not really affected by that. From an American context, even if Harvey Weinstein is not convicted, that doesn't mean that he's not responsible for the many acts that he committed or allegedly committed in the United States. It's just that he doesn't go to jail over it. So there's a really big division in the United States between, what sorts of conduct is workplace conduct for which you can be held responsible, and the sort of conduct for which you would go to jail. And there's so many procedural protections and limitations on criminal law in the United States. Like, it's a very different setting for deciding guilt or innocence. So for the Harvey Weinstein case in the United States, you need to show that he committed these acts against these two women beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a very high standard to meet. And that's not the standard that applies in civil cases in the workplace, where you just have to show that it was essentially more likely than not, which is a much lower standard. The issue, though, is that it can be very hard to bring claims in the United States, and it can be hard to win because, the standards for what qualifies as harassment were developed 20 years ago. And I think people are rethinking that. I also think I do expect it to affect the way judges make their rulings, even if the legal standards don't change. And I expect it to affect the way the juries think about it. Because now people are thinking about it more, and they're hearing the stories of the survivors and what it means and what the impact of this behavior was on them. To me, the Me Too movement has produced so many legislative gains and so many gains in terms of public perceptions in the United States. The Harvey Weinstein trial is just sort of this, like, smaller piece of the story, and even if Harvey Weinstein is not convicted, the rest of the story is not really affected by that. Many state legislatures have enacted laws intended to address some of the concerns raised in the Me Too movement. So a number of states have passed laws about whether you can enforce a non-disclosure agreement and what are the circumstances in which you can enter into a non-disclosure agreement. There have also been state legislation around harassment training, and also state legislation around harassment law, particularly. So, how long you have to bring your case, what kind of showing you need to make in order to prevail in your case. And so what the Me Too movement did is it brought the underlying problem to public attention, which over the course of the last few years, state legislatures have been working to fix. A criminal trial relating to Me Too is a good reminder. What you're doing at work, you don't get a free pass.